Let's go, let's get into the episode. Welcome back to the show. My name is Jess, the host of Human to Human, the founder, the creator. I'm the one-woman show behind this podcast. That's me. I'm Jess. And today we're going to talk about a few things that I'm just currently loving. I feel like it'll be a fun way to just catch up a little. I can tell you a bit about the different products, TV shows, materials, things that I'm just feeling really enhance my life. So I'm very excited about it. And we're going to start with my outfit, because my outfit is an outfit I've worn for 3 days, not 3 days in a row, but I've worn it 3 times in the past probably 5 days. And yes, I have done laundry. Yes, I've done laundry twice in the past 5 days. I did a load of towels and threw some clothes in. I was on my period. I had a lot of underwear to wash. It's fine. But let me tell you about the outfit I'm wearing right now. First, the jeans. The jeans are like a bit oversized, give a little bit of baggy, and I think they look good on my bum. And I found them in a thrift store. I went to Plato's Closet. A friend of mine had a bunch of clothes that she wanted to give to Plato's, and Plato's Closet is awesome. I am speaking from someone who lives in Toronto, not sure where Plato's exists out in the rest of the world and the provinces and such. But in Toronto, the Plato's Closets are, well, I'm in Etobicoke. Okay, no one cares where you live, Jess. We're not talking about where you live. But if you give your clothes to Plato's, they don't take all of them, but the ones that they do take, you can get money back for them. So it's amazing. Great deal. Love it. I also shop at some other thrift stores as well. I don't just go to Plato's. I actually rarely ever go to Plato's because it's so small and crammed in there that it's like overwhelming. But I found these jeans, thrifted them. I literally tried on 9 pairs of jeans before I found these. These were the very last jeans I tried on. And when I wash them, they get really tight and I need to wear them a few times before they like stretch out. But I'm obsessed with them. I feel like once I get new clothes, I like hyper fixate on like the one item, and like they just give me a different vibe than like the usual tighter-ish jeans that I wear. So I'm very happy with my jean thrift purchase. And my shirt is actually a shirt made by a good friend of mine. He runs a company called 416 Prints. You can find his Instagram and his website's linked and all that. And so he like can take a design you want and make shirts. Human to human shirts coming soon. Not to sell, but eventually maybe that would be very exciting to sell human to human shirts. This is one that he made for my boyfriend. And he just like, I love it whenever he makes a shirt for my boyfriend, he just like makes another one for me. So shout out Deeran, love you. But yeah, so this is a shirt that Deeran made for Josh's most recent song that came out. I wonder if by the time this episode comes out, Josh will have another song dropped, because that man drops songs like every 3 months. He's Josh Roy on Instagram, josh.roy__. And this is for his song called, I literally have to look down because I was going to say the wrong name. It's called Run It Up. And then on the back, it's the cover art for that song. And it's so comfy. I was like, Darren, I don't want a medium. I want a large. And this is a medium. And now that I've been wearing the medium, I'm like, oh, I'm actually so comfy in this shirt. Now I want my human to human ones to be mediums. And there's a reason why I can now wear mediums instead of a large. And it has nothing to do with my body size, because that sounded like that's where this was going. We'll get into my first thing. Well, technically my outfit's my first thing, but my first thing that I'm currently loving, and that is Carp deodorant. So this is not an ad. They did not sponsor me. I'm not popular enough to get sponsored yet, but I am popular enough to get deodorant sent to me for free. This is the first time I've ever had any product sent to me, which was so exciting. Carp found my TikTok that actually got the most views I think any thing I've posted on social media has gotten. It's pinned on my TikTok at Human to Human Pod, and it was me after a social event, literally covered in sweat. I actually took this video in the bathroom mid social event, and it was just, I was wearing like a light colored tank top, and my sweat stains were just huge all around my armpits. My under boob sweat was horrible. It was so embarrassing. And I originally just took it as a Snapchat to send to my mom, because my mom sweats all the time, like she knows. But I saved it and I decided to put it on TikTok. Like I think a couple weeks later, I put it on my Instagram story the day after the event. And thank God the woman that I've been doing coaching with with for months now, almost a year, which is crazy. If you're interested in coaching, the details are in the show notes. She replied to that Instagram story and was like, oh my God, girl, I did not notice your sweat at all. Like, don't even worry about it. But I love that you posted this. This is like so real and authentic. And like, it shouldn't say this, but it's embarrassing. Like, to sweat that much is so embarrassing. And I would only ever wear black. I would only ever wear large t-shirts. Like, I would not wear anything ever that sits in my pits. And honestly, this medium doesn't sit in my pits either, but it's closer to my armpits than a large t-shirt would be, obviously. So I was like, Darren, no, don't make human to human shirts in a medium. I want a large. But now I started wearing this shirt and it's so comfy, and I have to credit it to the Carp deodorant. I had one of my really good friends message me the other day and she was like, hey, I saw you posted about Carp deodorant. Like, does it actually work? And I haven't followed up and like posted much about it because I've been just trying to play around and see if I really like the deodorant. And it's been amazing. Like, it's actually helped my sweat so freaking much. The type of deodorant it is, it's like, I've never seen one like it before. It's actually kind of liquidy when you put it on. So it like takes a sec to dry. And the first like couple days of wearing it, I found like my armpits felt different. It was a bit weird. And it's funny because I was on sort of this journey to wanting to use everything all natural, whatever. And I tried an all natural deodorant. And similarly to the TikTok that went viral, I went to a party with friends and I was literally covered in sweat from my elbows. I am not exaggerating. My elbows all the way down to like the bottom of my boobs. I was covered in sweat. And I realized that I had actually been using an antiperspirant deodorant for my whole life. I am so sensitive to smells. So I literally refused to change my deodorant ever until this year. I use the exact same deodorant. I use Secret Vanilla Scent from grade 7 when I first started wearing deodorant till now, being 22. But then like I have friends who are really into like health and fitness and all natural stuff, and I was like thinking I should really try an all natural deodorant. So I tried Native deodorant, which is like I think the most popular all natural deodorant, and it stung my armpits. Like, it actually made my armpits so irritated. So I was like, okay, that's not gonna work, which sucks because I actually bought 2 Native deodorants because I was like, this is gonna be great. They didn't work for me. Gave them to my boyfriend. And then I bought another one. I bought the Hello Bello brand, which I love Hello Bello. It's run by the actors Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell, and I love them. I use their wet wipes. I've talked about that in an episode before, and they're really affordable. You can find them at Walmart and Shoppers Drug Mart and like your local pharmacy. But I tried their all natural deodorant, and that's the deodorant that I was just covered in sweat in. And so I was like, okay, I wanted to use all natural deodorant, but this is not working for me. And right around that time, Carp saw my TikTok and was like, hey, we would love to send you some deodorants to try. And I was like, please. And again, like I said, I'm really sensitive to perfumey smells. They sent me a few different scents, and my favorites have been, they have like a scent-free one, which is interesting. I only really use it like, it's kind of like my backup deodorant, like it's in my gym bag, that kind of thing. But I use their eucalyptus, and it smells exactly like eucalyptus. I smell like I'm at a spa, but I don't smell very strong. If I were to smell myself right now, yeah, like it doesn't smell strong at all, which I love. And so I have noticed just such a crazy shift in how much I sweat. The best way to describe it is I will look back at certain circumstances and be like, whoa, I used to sweat so much. Like in the morning when I would drink my morning hot lemon water, I would sweat. And now I'm like, oh, I'm not sweating, which is great. But I also want to talk about like the all natural part of things, because I'm not completely throwing that out the window. They have a really, really great part of their site on Carp's website that says like, what is talc? What does it mean to have talc in your deodorant? Because people are always like, we need talc-free deodorant. And they talk about how there's so much more talc in the food that we actually eat compared to our deodorant. And it's just a great way to like kind of learn more about it and make an educated decision based on like what feels best for you and your body and your choices. And I just wanted to share that if you're a sweaty person, this is something that's really, really helped me. And I really appreciate Carp sending me deodorants literally for free that I get to just try out. And now I'm like hooked. Like I can't really see myself wearing a different deodorant because I just love sweating less. I obviously still sweat. I go to the gym and I sweat. Sitting here right now, my armpits are very warm, but it's just such a crazy difference compared to like the excessiveness I used to sweat. The two people who actually founded the company were two super sweaty dudes who just needed a solution to this. So if you're looking for a deodorant brand, I highly recommend Carp. Again, not sponsored. Amazing. Let's talk about the second thing that I am currently loving. And this one is a little bit like, I was currently loving this last week and now I'm on season 2 of this show and I am crying. So I'm late to the game for sure on this because I usually like turn on Netflix or YouTube. I don't really usually like stray to the other streaming websites, and like I share Disney Plus with some friends and I share Prime Video, like Amazon Prime streaming service, with my family. So recently I was like, okay, I need to find a new show. Like there's something about like the cold weather and just like needing a great show to like cuddle up to and enjoy. I feel like I either want a really good show that I'm watching or a really good novel that I'm reading. And right now my book game is so bad. Like the books I've been reading are just like not doing it for me. So luckily my TV show Love right now is doing well. I'm loving it. Also, I love when you're watching a great TV show and you know that there's another TV show that you can like switch to next, because when you finish a really great series and you're like, oh my god, I don't know what I'm gonna do next, I just love when you have a runner-up. Workin' Moms released a new season recently and I love Workin' Moms, so I'm like, perfect, Workin' Moms is on my queue. Right now I'm watching The Summer I Turned Pretty, and you might be like, ew, Jess, why? I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I've said in an episode recently about Taylor Swift, I'm a pop culture bitch. The soundtrack of The Summer I Turned Pretty is actually so good. They are so up with the most popular songs. They play them at the perfect times. They just like set the vibe. It gives Gen Z. It just gives Gen Z energy. I'm not going to spoil anything, but basically the premise is like there's pretty much a love triangle, and it's about like two families who've grown up together, and Belly, the main character, has finally grown into her own. She's gone through puberty. She's 16 and she has massive crushes on two brothers. I'll tell you who I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for Conrad. I love Conrad so much. But Jeremiah, like, you look at Jeremiah and you're just like, oh my god, you're just so sweet and so nice. But like Conrad just gives like sexy bad boy. I don't know. I think it's nostalgic for me because when I was 16, like I grew up doing musical theater, and there were specific boys that I grew up doing musical theater with that were older than me, and I just like looked up to them and loved them, and it's so cringy when I look back now, but I don't regret anything. Like YOLO. When you're 16 and you are looking up to an older guy, like it's kind of like, we should talk about the negative sides of that, but we're not going to go into that today. We're talking about the beauty, the nostalgic, the vibes it gives. And season 1, it's like, it's shot during summer. They're in a beach town. There's young love in the air, first kiss energy. And it makes me like sometimes kind of sad because I'm like, oh my god, I'm old, even though I'm not old at all. I'm 22, but like I'm in a committed relationship, and like those early butterflies are just so different. You can find them in different ways in a long-term relationship, but just like nothing hits like the chaos of a young crush. You know what I'm saying? But now that I'm in season 2, the loviness is like getting complicated, and it's like making me very moody. Like I'm feeling very angsty teen energy because like I feel like when I read a really good book in depth or watch a show that I'm really into, I like let it just envelop my whole body and my whole vibe and my whole energy. And that is why I do not watch murder documentaries. That is why I don't watch things that are scary and thrillery, because I get very invested, and I want to be invested in something that makes me feel good. I'm a huge coming of age girl, big coming of age girl here. So if you want a little bit of nostalgic feelings, if you want to literally feel like you're in summertime, because I don't think, like, first of all, I don't think most of us are binging things in the summer because summer is so busy. And second of all, I don't think there's anything wrong with watching something that has to do with summer when it's winter, because it just makes you be like, oh my gosh, summer's such a fun time. But luckily, I'm not going through the chaotic cycles of a first crush, a first kiss, because oh my gosh, my anxiety, my mood swings out of control at that time of my life. I was obsessed with boys, like obsessed, capital O obsessed. The third thing I'm currently loving is a deep, slow yin yoga practice. it's cold. Again, like I said, chilly weather, the sun setting so early, and we need community. We need connection. We need to feel like we're not alone. We need to leave our fucking houses. As someone who works remotely, OMG, do I ever need to leave my house? So I'm trying to really force myself to do that. And my favorite time to do a deep, slow yin class is when I'm on my period. It's so restorative. I literally feel like my cells are like regenerating and like healing themselves. And I took my boyfriend to a class recently and he was like, what the fuck is this? This literally seems like a sleeping class. And I'm like, yeah, I know, it's weird. It's like a resting class. It depends on the type of yin class you do, but I've done 2 recently that are literally just like each pose. I mean, this is yin in general. Each pose you hold for a very long time. Sometimes there's like yin classes where it's like you use a few blocks, but that's about it. But the ones that I've tried recently for the first time, you use bolsters, blankets, blocks. Oh my God, they all started with B. And it's kind of weird because I don't love the transitions, because the transitions I have to like come out of my deep relaxation and then they're like, okay, this is how you're going to set up your next posture. But then you just get to lay in this like or kneel or whatever in this interesting posture for just a really long time. And I just find like I wouldn't do that in my home by myself unless I'm going to sleep. I wouldn't like lay in a deep shavasana on my floor in my bedroom. Because I don't know, I'm crazy that way. I can't like we're too stimulated. Our phones are just too close by to us. So doing a slow, deep yin class just really feels like such a nourishing way to rest and restore my body and my mind. That isn't like, I'm laying in my bed and watching Netflix, like me talking about watching The Summer I Turned Pretty. So that's just so good. And I also have become like really, really open to meeting more people in my community, wanting to make new friends, wanting to just like be a part of something, because human connection is literally what makes us feel okay. And even though sometimes we might be like, the last thing I want to do is hang out with someone or talk to someone, the smallest little moment of connection can change the course of your whole day. And that's why now I'm saying this and I'm like, fuck, I know I need to go to the gym later and I don't feel like it, but I'm going to, because even just like a hello or I always go to the teacher and I'm like, that class was amazing. Thank you so much. And that moment of connection just brings me just like, it's a mood boost really. And it's something that can really help us get through the hard winter months. So a slow, deep yin practice, it is totally not a workout. I literally felt like I shouldn't have worn a bra or underwear to my recent yin class because I was like, I really want to chill out. I did wear a bra and underwear, but I didn't want to. And you don't have to. Nobody knows. Wear a big oversized sweater or something, or just have your nips out. Who cares? Okay, so that was number 3. Number 4, I got a new chair. I mentioned how I am living at home in my parents' basement. And oh my God, I literally forgot to say the most important thing at the beginning of this episode. I'm so sad. I don't know how that randomly came into my head, but I always try to remember to remind you, because I love you and I want to connect with you. I want to hear your TMI stories. I want to hear your embarrassing things that have happened to you. I want to answer some questions you might have, give some advice on some awkward shit that we go through as humans. And I meant to say that at the beginning of the episode, but I'll say it now. And I don't have an episode coming out next Monday, but I have so many episodes coming out in December. I'm very excited. I'm doing something very fun. And I'm going to be focusing on sharing some holiday advice, some ways that I deal with, the crazy season of Christmas and whatever holiday you may celebrate. So if you have any questions or advice you would like me to give on the holidays, how to get through it, how to enjoy it, please submit it in the show notes, humantohumanpod.com. I have a spot that's called Submit a Story. You can submit a story, a question, completely anonymous, and we can just have some fun, have some laughs together. And it's just a really fun way, I feel like, to talk about different things that I might not come up with in my head randomly when I'm just thinking about things I want to share. Knowing what you guys are going through, knowing what you're thinking about on your day-to-day life and what you might want to have more conversations about, so helpful for me. So freaking helpful. And you don't have to give your name. When you submit it on my website, I cannot see your email. I can't see your name. I can't see anything. I had to add a spot that said pronouns because I didn't even know your pronouns. I was like, I want to know how to properly describe this person that I am sharing their story of. And I'll just say this person or this human, and I will just say they, them. But please submit a story or a question or something you want advice on, because we can have a good time together. And I actually will answer it at the beginning of the episode because I will plan it in advance. But there wasn't one today, so I told my own story about my sweat. Anyway, back to my fourth favorite thing that I am currently loving. I am loving my chair. Unfortunately, not the one I'm currently sitting in. If you're watching this and you see this chair, I'm talking about my chair that I have at my desk. I'm staring at it right now, but don't worry, you can see a photo. Go to Human to Human Pod on my Instagram. I will definitely have a photo. Probably. It's also in my highlights on my links page. I am a fidgeter. I have ADHD and I have trouble sitting still. And so I really, really wanted this chair that was like $500. It was very expensive. I do not have that in my budget. I am a freshly graduated student trying to save some money, hoping to move out of my parents' house eventually. So I was like, Jessica, you're not spending $500 on a chair. If you do, go off, live your best life. Like, I was really trying to rationalize if that's something that I would feel okay about, and turns out it wasn't. So on TikTok, my algorithm was paying attention, and as it does, and I kept getting videos of this other kind of chair called the kneeling. It wasn't called a kneeling meditation chair, but it was like a kneeling something chair. I have it linked also in my Amazon storefront in the show notes. You can purchase it for yourself. It was $100. So much more affordable than $500. I put it together myself. It took a hot minute. But it's so amazing because my posture is a million times better. And I'm sitting at my desk for most of my day, which didn't know if I would really say that. But yeah, it's I'm an office girly. I didn't know if that's who I would become, but I am becoming her. And so sitting on this chair is amazing. The only thing is my ass goes numb because you can sit with like your knees. So there's no backrest because you really don't need one. I actually have not found I've needed a backrest at all with this chair because it kind of tilts your hips downward. So when your hips are tilted downward, it's really easy to hold your body upright. It's a lot better for your whole alignment. And so then there's two pads in the front of the chair, in front of the seat. And so you can like kneel your legs on it so you're like your bottom part of your legs are behind you, but then you can also stick your feet on them so your knees are like up high. And I end up doing the knees up high thing more, and because of that, it's kind of like pushing all my weight down onto this like one part of my butt, so my butt gets numb when I'm sitting on it for like obviously hours on end. Your butt is gonna get numb in any chair if that's how you're doing it, but I freaking love it. It allows me to rock back and forth, which is crazy. That is like so stimulating to my brain and my ADHD-ness. And I can change up my position. There's like, I get weird with it. There's two main positions you can do, but I do many more than I sometimes go sideways. Sometimes one time I like rolled all the way back and stretched out my back. Sometimes in meetings, I'm like rocking so much that I'm like, girl, you're going to freaking fall over mid-meeting. Hasn't happened though. So bless up. And the brand is Mustache. There's like quite a few different brands, but honestly, that was the cheapest one. Girly needs the cheap brand. And the reviews were great. I'm giving you a great review. And the other best thing about it, there's so many best things, but one of the great things about it is it's pretty like you're sitting so upright and your knees like your knees are like on the thing, so it's so close to basically standing up. It's so easy to get off the chair. The way it seems, it looks like it could be difficult to get off the chair. It is not. It is so easy to get off this chair. God bless, hallelujah, because I find it so difficult to pull myself away from a task, whether I'm editing photos or editing a podcast or just like deep into like the work I'm doing. I will not go pee for a really long time, which is not good for me. And so this chair has really changed that for me because it is so easy to just boom, stand up, and my brain doesn't have as much trouble like transitioning. And even when I sit back down, my brain is like, okay, perfect. Now we're standing up. And that has really affected my day-to-day life in such a fucking profound way. So cannot recommend this chair enough. I love that it's within the budget. And yeah, it's linked down in the show notes if you want to get it, or if like think on it for a while. You don't have to, but I think on things for a while before I buy things, and really just like do my research and like make sure I've filled in all the gaps on like things I'm wondering. That's also how I decided to get off the birth control pill, which I like, that's a whole thing I eventually want to share about, but I literally would just like research, doubt things, do more research. So take with that what you will. The second thing that I'm going to say about my little office setup is that I got a monitor yesterday, and now I feel like I'm like, and a keyboard and a mouse, and now I feel like I'm like, those are my fingers typing on my keyboard. And I'm like, I'm a business fucking woman. I'm into it. The last thing I'm currently loving, which definitely has to do with the businesswoman energy, this is number five of my fave things recently, is my whiteboard. I bought it from the dollar store, so it's not the best in terms of erasing things, because I will keep things on that whiteboard for the entire week, and then it will get really hard to take things off of the whiteboard. But it has changed my life because I'm a very visual person. I have a Google Calendar. It's really great. It's really helped. But I need, when it comes to like nitty gritty day-to-day planning, to-do list items, I need to see things like really clearly out in front of me, and also be able to erase and cross things out really easily too. These are like my hacks. You can call them ADHD hacks or just like human hacks. Oh my God, that's cool. I should call things that. This is my human hack of the week, is getting a whiteboard and being able to just like constantly like take things off, rewrite things, and it just makes me wake up in the morning and feel like I can really start my day and know exactly what I'm doing. And then obviously things don't always go according to plan, so I can really easily adjust and see things in a big scale right in front of me kind of way that really changes it. I'm doing so much podcast planning lately, so being able to like really just like brain dump all on this board, and then be able to like configure things and be like, okay, this needs to go here, I need to do this that day, this appointment I have that day, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like I have my shit together. Love that for me. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of just like my current fave things. If you did, please let me know. Share it with a friend. I'm just gonna keep talking about random shit about my life, but maybe there's something you could share with me that's really fun and interesting and weird about your life, and we can have fun together. Please make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss so many fun things coming in December. I'll miss you next week, but I will see you so freaking soon, so much so that you're gonna get tired of my voice. Just kidding. Who doesn't love it? Why am I getting so like cocky lately? Anyway, I love you. You got this, and I will see you very soon for a new episode.